Okay. Let's see. Hello, it's Damien again, and I just wanted to make another video. It's been a few months since I've done the last one, or first one actually. I've been going through some stuff with my personal life. Nothing too major actually, but it has been time consuming and a bit distracting. So I haven't really felt the desire to post anything related to that. This is pretty much as brief as I wanted to make it, honestly. So everything's great now, and I feel like it's a perfect time for me to share again. So thanks for tuning in, and I guess we'll start here. So one of the things I wanted to clarify was about my position on events that are to come. And I know we're past 2012. On the surface, we can see that nothing major happened. The planet didn't explode. We didn't go into a black hole, and there wasn't a particular event that maybe some people were waiting for. I still consider it the purpose of the historical foretelling to still be in place. It's just that I think there was a lot of garbage wrapped around truth, and so we're still here, and this is going to be something that we're going to recognize spiritually versus physically, although physical events will probably come in to play that will affect us spiritually. So one of the things that I wanted to touch base with everyone on is actually going to be coming into the topic of disclosure. Now, that can be looked at in a lot of different ways. So financial disclosure is already happening. We had Stephen Greer's mock congressional hearing related to extraterrestrial existence and the existence of UFOs and whatnot. I think those are definitely good stepping stones in the process that we're seeing. The truth of the matter is that all of our known universe is populated, that our universe itself is conscious. That means every single atom and molecule and inanimate object, animate objects, planets, dark matter, everything is conscious. So that's still the bottom line that I think some people are forgetting. And we look at UFOs, we look at aliens, we look at crop circles, and they are definitely of interest. But coming from a deep-seated spiritual influence, I think those topics they will definitely rattle how we look at the world, and how the world kind of the motivations that are in place right now, I think, will fall to the wayside. Capitalism, consumerism, social inequalities, man versus nature. Those are Neanderthal. I mean, we should have gotten past those a long time ago, but we haven't. So they're still serving some sort of purpose for us, and that's fine, because that's the way it is, right? But I do think that we are coming into a truth truth era, where things are going to be coming about. People that are hiding information, the cabal, or whatever you want to call it, doesn't actually matter. Any conspiratorial informational management program that is designed to keep people in the dark are starting to unravel, because we're already in the informational age. I mean, nobody can look at the internet and say, oh, well, yeah, there's lots of garbage that you have to sort through, but the fact that you can find out what someone's doing in China, well, China might be a bad example because it's got to already get information out of China, but it's still possible. I mean, the fact that you can find out where anybody in the world, they can say something to you and have it take an instant for it to get to you. I have a friend in Sweden that I speak with, and we work on music together, and he's halfway across the planet, in a completely, opposite of my time zone, more or less, and we can have a conversation like he's in the same room. So I think that's amazing, and that's definitely coming into play as far as how well the powers that be, or Illuminati or Cabal, whatever, how well they're going to be able to tighten the ropes on information. The fact that things haven't come out in terms of full light, being that we're not alone in the universe. There are beings that are visiting us regularly on a daily basis, everywhere, across the planet, everywhere, right? I believe that the beings that are visiting our planet, both physically and non-physically, know that it's in our best interest to go through our own experiences without too much guidance from an external medium, person, or being, right? So, take martial arts, for example. It's designed to most effectively turn you into a weapon, right? I mean, that's it's all fighting forms. It's as fluidly and effectively, without using as much, or trying to hone your body, hone your patience, your mind, your endurance, everything, right? To make you into a perfect weapon. However, it's also a spiritual practice, and there's people, masters. A true master would never fight, although they have spent their entire life turning themselves into the perfect weapon where they could just, beat anybody up that they wanted to, right? Kill people in an instant. Now, the point is that it took them that lifetime to understand that there is no need to fight. Without going through that process and without going through that practice and becoming the perfect weapon, they wouldn't have come to that realization. I mean, other masters can tell them and say, yes, this is why, or whatever, share their perspective. But true understanding comes from your own experience. I mean, that's really what we're doing here, right? In the universe, as human beings on our planet, we are experiencing the Creator through itself as ourselves within the boundaries, if you want to call them that, or limitations of human experience. Now, because, and that, the reason why I kind of pause on the term limitation is because it's just a selected kind of experience, right? Which, in my opinion, is more than self-evident that there are plenty of other experiences for us to have as different kinds of beings, different dimensions, and everything else, because having limitations, although we can argue whether free will versus divine purpose flow well together, and in my opinion, I think they perfectly flow well, just as they should. we still have our limitations of, our senses, for example, our emotional limitations, our shortcomings in terms of, being what you would consider, or some maybe consider, a perfect experiential vessel, right? But in order to have a specific experience, you have to have those limitations, or else the chance of ultimate experience is too broad. Like, a good example would be if you wanted to know how many possible combinations a particular number could have, in an order. Let's say, so you have a 4-digit number, and there's 10 numbers to work with, and you have 4 different places in the number in which all those reside, and you can do the math, and you can find out how many possibilities there are for variation, right? Well, now make that number close to infinite or infinite. How many combinations are there? Well, that's the universe, right? So, and a human is that 4-digit number. Another thing I would like to say would be, I know that some questioned about me saying that I don't believe in heaven or hell, and I definitely stand by that statement. It's only because, again, it doesn't make sense on an experiential level for anything to be eternal. That if you can't grow from a mistake, then there is no purpose in making a mistake. We are singularly experiencing being part of a global population. So if we are, as a human species on this planet, still fighting with each other and letting our egos control everything we do, then we're not there yet. So how could we possibly assume that washing one person's foot and giving money to charity one day, but still having the complete infinite potential for fallibility the next? Each moment, you can go from one moment to another. You can give money to charity, and then the next day, scoff at someone for cutting you off on the sidewalk. So, I guess what I'm saying is, how can we possibly conceive of an ethereal place in which we are, eternally rewarded or eternally punished for, say, some measurable sin or measurable good, right? And that's what karma is for, right? We have to learn from our mistakes. If we hurt somebody, and we go past that lifetime without, without realizing that we did something wrong, or whatever you want to call it, then we die, and at some point, a different lifetime, we have that experience, and that's kind of how it works. And that's still not a bad thing, the reason why I choose to do things with goodness in mind is because I feel that is where I'm at in this lifetime. I began my spiritual path consciously a long time ago, and I like knowing that I can't go back. The single moment that I consider to be the beginning of my conscious spirituality would be the self-evident interaction or communion with whatever you want to call it. And there's no drugs in play or alcohol or some weird, religious moment or anything like that, although I've taken plenty of amazing experiences from a lot of avenues. And I don't choose a dogma because I like looking at a multitude of experiences or multitude of areas for inspiration. The last thing I'll mention on that topic is a statement that I saw today that kind of reminded me of some things, and it's by a gentleman called Edgar Casey. He's no longer with us on this planet. I believe he died in the 1930s actually, but they called him the Sleeping Prophet, and he's known for his work with being able to be, go into a dream state or a vision state and work with a guide / watcher of what's called the Akashic Records, which is, like a universal library of your life's accounts. And I actually had an experience a long time ago where that involved my Akashic record, and it's kind of amazing to me. And I'm definitely grateful for that experience. But the statement that he made, and I like it, is Jesus is the pattern. And the reason why it's relevant for me talking about it right now is because, Christians might say, oh, well, yeah, of course, follow Jesus, accept him as your Lord and Savior, Jesus is the only light in the way. There's a lot of Christians that actually believe that if you do not accept Jesus as your Savior, then you are going to hell, regardless of how good of a person you are. And that is just crazy to me. It is really crazy. I mean, just even on the personal level, because these are people that you see every day, that you're in the checkout line with, or you're driving on your car, and you could have a, I don't know, some crazy looking, sticker on your car that they might assume is, satanic or devil worship or even just New Age or anything like that. Like the coexist sticker could just totally irk some, Christian person. And they could say, oh, well, that person doesn't accept, Jesus Christ as their personal Lord and Savior. And so, screw that guy, that person's going to hell, Just that thought is just insane to me. So, I mean, I guess the reason, what I think about that statement is looking at, his life and looking at the fact that, he did so many good things in his life, but ultimately he was crucified for what he believed and challenging systems and things of that nature. I mean, he was like the ultimate Indigo, right? But then he was supposedly resurrected. That can be taken physically or metaphorically or however you wish, actually, because I have my own opinion and I'll keep it to myself. But I liken it to, you have to go through pain. You have to make mistakes. You have to make amends. Those are all just parts of the experience. And the more we learn and the more we grow, the more we know about ourselves. That's what it comes down to for me. So that's what I take from that statement. And I don't know. That's kind of just puts the period on the statement of whether heaven or hell exists, or both. The last thing I'll put in this video is a couple people asked about the music, my music endeavors. I'm actually only going to just I do have a SoundCloud. I'll just put that out there. You can take a look at that if you wish. I'm not, like I said, I'm not very good at music. I am trying. I think it's fun, so who cares what other people think. But if you do want to see the one thing I'm going to link to here, right there, maybe right there. That's a video that I put together to a track that I wrote called Sacred Geometry, and it's also more or less like a tribute to a gentleman called Nassim Haramein. And I did take some of the video clips from his video called Black Hole, spelled W-H-O-L-E, and then a bunch of photos and things that I have. It kind of puts the this whole conversation actually into perspective from my thoughts, and I feel like I don't know, it's pretty good. I think maybe I put it together a couple years ago, and I've gotten a lot of good feedback on it just for the ideas. I think with the visual experience, it kind of does have its own entity to itself, and that's cool. So I'm glad it exists. Just take a look and see what you think, and everyone have a great, wonderful day. Bye.